but filled through all this fleshly dress, plied shoes of everlastingness. Now, in spite of being involved with sins, with the black art, still the bright picture of heaven is still shooting, still enlightening inside his body. Filled through all this fleshly dress. Fleshly dress, as the teacher said, is conceit. It's a comparison between the body and the dress. A body is a dress is usually made of clothes,
yeah.
and here the dress.
It's like a dress made of flesh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in Marvel,
Yeah.
it was the human flower.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when the soul departs or leaves the body, you know, this flesh or this dress becomes dormant and lifeless. You see?
So it is the dress of the soul.
Yeah, it's the dress of the soul. You know, it's the fleshly dress. You know?
He believes in original sin because you can see that there are several sin to every sin. So he's a believer of original sin. But the thing that I want to understand is that, okay, childhood, okay, they're born, they believe that they were born with, you know, original sin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking about childhood and going back to the past days and how he's innocent and pure from all the sins. And then, you know, there's some sort of contradictory idea here going on.
You know,
Something, you know.
it seems contradictory, but like, because this birth is birth of heaven.
Yeah, the birth of heaven.
The pre-existence
Uh-huh.
is, you know, an existence which
So he's saying
devoid of any sin.
the childhood during his life on heaven, or
Was-
his childhood during, you know,
No,
his
in
time
heaven,
in
in
heaven,
heaven.
yeah.
In heaven was
Yeah.
innocent before the fall.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the fall. So the idea of original sin is there, but it is not stressed.
No, it's
you know,
not.
it's not stressed. It is left, you know, like vague, as if he does not want to stress this.
Yeah.
You know, as if he wants like to show man like, okay, you can change your life
Yeah,
if you
he's
want.
like, he's not-
You're not crippled
Yeah.
by this, you know, original sin. And this is positive, you know, it's a good approach towards, you know, teaching and preaching. Because if you remind people of their mistakes, of their
Yeah,
sins,
they're gonna feel bad
you know,
about
this is very
themselves.
disappointing, this is very frustrating. So, like, you know, when a teacher like keeps praising the student, it's like what I'm doing with you. You are, you know, encouraged, and this is like something good. But if I start like saying, you're not good, you are not doing very well, and you are dummy, you know, excuse me, something like this, you will hate something called metaphysical. You know?
Yeah.
So this is not a good educational approach.
Yeah.
A good one is to start like with the positive things, and then to use bad. You know, this would be nice. We'll see in the rapture and the spirit, you know, perhaps of, you know, tired, like this approach is stressed, like the approach of the positive. Yes.
I want also to ask a question that here and in those weaker glories, I hadn't got the idea of what are these weaker glories.
She's asking about the weaker glories.
Okay. He's describing them as being weaker because they are just a mere imitation of the perfect, glorious in heaven. And it is a Platonic idea that everything on earth is a mere imitation of perfection in heaven. That's
Yeah. Which line are you speaking about? The weaker glories? The third line. Happy those early days when I shined in my angel infancy before I understood. Yeah. The third line in what?
The second stanza.
Okay. Oh, how I want to travel back and.
If you look up there on the chart.
Okay.
Clouds and
When
flowers.
all at once get it, my gazing soul would dwell an hour, and in those weaker glories by. Now I think, you know, those weaker glories, they are the glory of heaven, not the glory, you know.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when you feel like the more you live in life, you know, your vision is blurred by the, you know, earthly concerns. So, you know, man tends to forget. So once you keep away, the more distance you keep away, the older you become, those glories, they become like faint, They're not very clear as, when you are a mile or two. See? So there are glories, but the more we live, these glories become faint, become weaker glories. Okay? So I think you got it. Yes? Yeah, okay. I like this stanza very much.
Yes. Oh, how long to travel back and tread again that ancient track. Here,
that ancient track.
back.
That ancient track. Like a track, it is ancient. Why does he say ancient? What does the word ancient reveal when he says it is an ancient track?
That he crossed long distance and move on
Yeah.
long time in his life.
Yeah. And, so I think, we can think of it like an oxymoron, ancient track. But, my interpretation, it is ancient track, and, because he lived so long in this life.
Yeah.
So that track, which he took when he was like newly divided from heaven, was new. But the more he lived on earth, it became, ancient. That ancient track, Oh, how I long to travel back and tread again that ancient track. It's like, this is the feeling of nostalgia, isn't it? Like he's very homesick to go back, to tread that, good.
Yes. Here the poet is eager to go back to that days of his childhood, but he wonders how long to travel back. It seems that he had crossed a very long distance. He became far away from heaven. He left it a long time ago, and that short, which was at the beginning, a mile or two, become ancient now.
Yeah, good. So you explain it again.
Okay. Where first I left my glorious train, from where the enlightened spirit sees that shady city of palm trees. Again, he's recalling his past memories. He left his glorious train, and he wishes to go back to that place where he left his good memories. And he is referring to a city here, or first of all, referring to place.
This
What's
is the
place?
shady spot, city of palm trees. Which city is he speaking?
Jericho.
No, Jerusalem? Jerusalem. No? So, like, now the question is, where is Jerusalem? According to the Bible. According to the Bible. Is it on earth or in heaven? Yes, according to the Bible. And this is refutes any claim about Jerusalem being not to the Muslims, like to other people. Because we are speaking about heavenly, city. Okay, so when we say Jerusalem, like a heavenly city, which is like devoid, which is very pure, which, in which you have an ideal life. Like I told you, I was doing a poem, not for Vaughan, for another poet, and we came across, this point like Jerusalem was in heaven. And I asked the professor there, what do you think, where is Jerusalem? Is it on earth or in heaven? And he told me, it was very confusing question. He told me it is on both. I told him, how come? I think, like God, I think it is in heaven, because what God would reward is something divine, something good, not something earthy, something mundane. And I don't think, it is on earth, because look here, God would not be unfair and give the land of some people to other people, and then, because there were some people who were Jewish there, they were back. Okay.
In this